Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the hashtag AtoAni Learn series, where we share to you valuable insights about different sustainability topics that are relevant nowadays, such as the topic about developing a community of sustainability advocates, which is what we will be discussing with our guest panelist today. She's the founder of the Buhay Zero Waste Group. It is a Filipino community trying to reduce the amount of waste they produce in their day to day living, whom we will get to know her later. So, to everyone who is watching right now, whether you are new to this series or watched the previous episodes, stay tuned and do put in the comment section below where you are watching. You can also share this live stream to your respective social media accounts to have more people learn from this discussion. This is the sixth episode of the hashtag AtoAni Learn series. Tonight's topic is effectively developing a community of sustainability advocates. Next slide. I am John Motergi Leon. I'll be your moderator tonight. I am an intern at the AtoAni BioPack Enterprise, a second year student studying food science and technology in the University of the Philippines, Diliman, Quezon City. Also, I do volunteer work in various groups with causes such as quality education and free healthcare for the masses, and of course, and the environment sustainability organizations in the Philippines. Same as everyone here, I'm excited to learn more about this topic with from our special guest panelist. Next slide. To start off our talk, for those who might have come here because you really want to learn more about the topic, or maybe you just have been invited by one of your friends who is passionate about this. We're talking about passion, huh? That is the number one word that we will be talking a lot tonight. I mean, I know you are probably wondering why we are discussing about community building right now, when in fact there are a lot more topics that we can talk about, like the current pandemic. I know that it's been 8 months since we have heard COVID 19. And, no matter how we proceed in life, I just think the virus is somehow permanently attached wherever the conversations it would take. But, there are a lot of discussion about COVID 19, discussions, I mean. Even when you search something in the internet, the word COVID 19 easily pops up as a suggested key search. For the past 8 months, we have kept ourselves isolated from our distant friends and even in the community. We solely focused on surviving this pandemic and somehow forgot to move fast forward, even if the world is, healing at a gradual pace. But, ladies and gentlemen, my Facebook users, community building in general has been witnessed in some areas in the Philippines, from sharing COVID 19 facts in social media to helping each Filipino rise up in these trying times. I can assure you that our country when it does not need to worry when it comes to helping hands. So this topic is very close to my heart, and of course, to a lot of our viewers, community building is a necessity. It is a prerequisite in all societies. Community building is a solution. Next slide. To help you visualize how community building occurred since the pre-pandemic, here are some of the photos online. These photos exhibit how classical Filipinos do in times of emergency. The call of labor and service becomes a number one priority. Relief packs were sent to the villages in order for them to be safe by, preventing them from leaving their homes. Um, Free masks and hygiene kits were also part of various donation drives conducted by different organizations willing to help others in need. So, and you know, even if we do not personally go to these places like these organizations, from the comfort of our own homes, we realize that we don't have to sacrifice our health just, just by signing different petitions and fighting for our rights against injustices done in this pandemic. Uh, we help at least one Filipino from being completely endangered. Try to think of that. This is community building. It starts from, a single passion that drives the whole body to move and affect the community that surrounds it. It's not really hard to look into the beauty of the things when our situation is at its lowest. Well, for some, of course, I myself at a very young age tend to look at the glass half full instead of half empty. And it's a struggle for everybody to, living up to not living up to what they expect their situations should be. Um, there is a driving force behind someone, that pushes it and gradually achieves and shows others what sharing, caring, and loving is all about. This is absolutely why we organized a discussion around this topic on how we can effectively develop a community of sustainable advocates just from a single driving force that leads to success and awareness of many. At this junction, I'd like you to meet our guest panelist for today, who will share some practical insights about this topic and more. When I first met her in our group chat, I was astonished. I was amazed by her resiliency and her passion. I'm excited to ask her some of the very good questions that we picked. And of course, your questions as well. So do not forget to type them in the comment section of this live stream. Type your comments below, type your questions. We will ask them one by one. And so let's view them from our panelists to answer later. We would also love that you could share some likes and care, pusuan nyo, our Facebook live stream, or even share this live stream to your respective Facebook accounts. So, without further ado, let me introduce our special panelist for today. Kind of reading this amazes me. She is she is a sustainability advocate who found, watch this, the Buhay Zero Waste group in 2017. 2017, so that was 3 years ago. And try to hear this. She has 57,000 plus members, active members, and counting. And I heard it has different chapters produced. Here is Miss Gia Rubio Montserrat. Miss Gia, kindly turn on your video and mic, please, and tell us more about you and what you do.
Hi!
Miss Gia.
Um,
Hi, Miss Gia.
Hi.
Cute baby. How are you?
Hi. I'm Gia. Ako po ang pasimuno ng Buhay Zero Waste. But I'm not the first one I'm not really the founder of the Zero Waste movement in the Philippines. Just Buhay Zero Waste.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That is amazing. Nakita ko yung Facebook group nyo from 3 years ago. What did you expect? What was your goal back then, 3 years ago?
Okay. Sige, kukwento ko kung paano nangyari ang Buhay Zero Waste. So, naghahanap ako ng I've been looking for support on how to live more sustainably. Hindi ko pa nga alam yung parang bago lang sa akin yung term na zero waste. Pero matagal na pala ako nag-zero waste. Ngayon, basta kumalat din yun sa social media na, uy, zero waste pala yun, gano'n yung ginagawa ko. And then, naghanap ako ng support group.
Kasi, di ba?
Oo.
Yes.
Naghanap ako ng support group. Ang nahanap kong group ay yung Journey to Zero Waste. Hindi ko alam kung familiar kayo doon, yung Journey to Zero Waste. Kaso global, siya, sa Amerika yata siya nag-originate. Kasi yung, alam ko nag-coin din ng term na zero waste ay, basta sa Western yan, nakuha yung
yes.
yung term na yun, di ba? So, nung nag-join ako doon, na-frustrate naman ako kasi mag-helpful naman yung mga tips. Yung nga lang, sabi ko, hindi siya applicable dito sa setting dito sa Philippines. And I'm sure, originally tayo mga Filipinos, mga zero wasters talaga tayo. Maabilidad tayo eh. And frugal, gawa ng kahirapan, ganyan. So, wala pa nung time na yun. So sabi ko, okay, sige. May namit ako doon mga Pinay din, doon din sa group na yun. Tapos in-encourage, nag-usap-usap na kailangan meron dito sa Philippines. And naglakas loob lang ako gawin yung Facebook group. And kasi I need support din for myself, and I know for sure I'll be able to learn from other people. And then,
yes.
Ang inspiration ko din, kasi breastfeeding advocate din kasi ako. Ang tindi nung nakikitok din siya. So, na-amaze ako dun sa movement ng breastfeeding dito sa Philippines, and they use social media to spread the breastfeeding gospel. So sabi ko, why not sa
we'll talk about that.
Wasting. Yeah, ano yan?
We'll talk about social media kasi ang galing. We'll talk about social media later kasi yung social media, that's something very important. It's a platform, right?
Yes.
Okay, please continue.
So, ayun, naglakas loob na lang ako na tsaka sa totoo lang din, ang daming feel natin ang dami ng problema. So parang the best is to do, or ito lang yung magagawa ko, ito yung effort. I think it's a small effort on my part, but na-amaze lang din ako that there are a lot of other advocates that share my compassion towards environment. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nangyari yung group.
Ready ka na ba? Are you ready? Okay. So we picked the best question. Okay. Our first question. No.
Yes,
I know
yes.
some of our audiences are Facebook users, and they are really curious about this Facebook group. Can you please tell us more about what is the Buhay Zero Waste Facebook group and how did it started? Here in the Philippines na. Of course, here in the Philippines na.
So, yun, nakwento ko na. Medyo nakwento ko na. So, it is ang idea about Buhay Zero Waste. Para siyang digital library of experiences, real experiences. Kasi nothing beats yung experiences talaga ng ibang tao. Compared mo sa isa-search mo lang sa Google, hindi naman lahat nagpa-vlog, hindi naman lahat napapublish. And madami kang mapipick up na yung ginagawa ng ibang tao. Like, yung pagdala ng container sa supermarket, nanggaling yun sa Buhay Zero Waste, as far as I know. So, yun. And we believe dun sa, in the group that yung pag-i-inspire with one another will be very helpful para to create change. So, yun lang naman, sharing, discussions, encouragement, tsaka nagtatanong din ng mga recommendation kung sa makakabili ng eco-friendly na item, yung mga ano mga pwedeng alternatives, kasi sa totoo we need alternatives because Alam niyo naman natin yung convenience sa mga single-use stuff.
Yes. I'm really curious kasi nagulat ako, 57,000 plus active members. That's shocking, okay? Ang dami kong nakikitang groups. I've seen a lot, okay? Different causes, different platforms. But this one, I'm amazed kasi they use Facebook to post pictures of their DIYs. Am I right? Design it yourself, sustainable packaging materials.
Yes.
Can I ask, is it just a Facebook group or do you also have a market enterprise from this?
So, organically, nag-grow ang Buhay Zero Waste. Surprised din ako. Amazed din ako kung paano nag-grow siya na ganyan. I think isang factor ay, which I hope, well, yung iba parang nasasad sila dun sa reality na yun, na trendy, ang zero wasting, na yung mga eco-friendly, social yan. Parang siyang nauso, di ba? And, pero ano din siya, good thing din yun kasi it's a way para ma-introduce sa ma-educate din yung ibang tao of what what zero wasting is. Like, I use metal straw. That means curious yung ibang tao, bakit siya gumagamit ng metal straw? Hindi refuse niya yung paggamit ng ordinary na straw. So nagkakaroon na doon ng discussion. And I think isa din na naging beneficial sa growth ng group ay we advocate, we encourage na to be more proactive. Yun talaga. I think that's kahit anong advocacies kasi, di ba? Basta proactive ka rather than being reactive. You are more productive.
Yes,
diba? And you're able to inspire other people. Amen? Amen.
Amen!
So, ganun talaga, diba, if you want to influence somebody. And we also advocate, kasi very doable yung making small changes. Very doable. Yun ang mas gusto ng mga tao, make changes. Kasi yung iba, usually ang naririnig ko ay hindi ko kaya mag-zero waste kasi may waste naman ako na, hindi ko kaya yun, ganyan. Actually, in-encourage namin sa group that you don't have to be perfect. I myself, I'm not perfect in this lifestyle. Lalo na ngayong COVID. So, I fail many times, but it is a lifestyle. Habit forming habit forming to lifestyle na to, and we believe that for every person that's making this intentionally, though imperfect, it creates change kasi kesa sa wala tayong ginagawa.
Yes,
so I
that's true.
Yun ang nagpa-growth. We didn't really promote it or anything. Basta nakichika lang kami sa mga kasama lang din namin mga advocates na encourage lang. We don't want to be preachy about this.
Yeah.
We just want to be we don't want to be preachy kasi parang basta niniwala kami na actions speak louder than words. So yun. Yan. So yun ang tingin ko that nangyari.
I like that. Ang ganda kasi it symbolizes small actions plus lots of people equal to big change. Yun ang ganda.
Tired na ako makarinig ng mga namatay na turtles. Tired na ako na polluted si ganyan. Wala na tayong magagawa. So, proactive.
Very good. Ganda.
Go ahead.
Simula pa lang tayo, ang saya na.
Yes.
Okay, so this question, can I have the next slide, please? Okay, so now that we probably know how it all started, we would like to know what does it take to develop a solid and vast community of advocates?
It takes grit. It takes grit. And for me, it's the little things. Um, Actually, if you will think on the, I don't know, think the big picture, you will be overwhelmed of kung ano yung na-foresee mo na gusto mo sana na ganito, ma-influence mo si ganyan, or ganito, ganyan. But it really is in the little things. And dumadating din naman kasi yung mga tao na kailangan matouch, kailangan ma-inspire.
Yeah.
Patient. So it's para ka nagtatanim lang din naman. It's cultivating. And it's one advocate after another. It doesn't happen overnight. And yun lang, ang maganda sa social media. Dahil maganda din siyang platform, very convenient sa ibang tao, lalo na sa Facebook. Nasa spread agad siya. And lalo na kapag, pwede palang gawin yun. So, I think inspiring people to do something new or inspiring them to innovate. Yan. Yan.
Curious lang ako. If kasali na ako dyan sa group na yan, am I going to be a sustainability advocate?
Pwede.
Yeah.
It's really up to you. It's really up to you. Kaya we actually more like we welcome people who knows the whys of this lifestyle. Wala naman siyang cookie cutter way of how to do it. And ito man sinasabi namin ay kanya-kanyang style. And if you will label yourself na ikaw ay sustainability advocate, then you are, and make actions that you are indeed a sustainability advocate. No matter how small.
That's really informative to our audiences kasi once they search your Facebook group, they can just add up to the pile of sustainability advocates.
Pero maliit lang ito ang frustration ko lang din. Facebook is just a small yung 57,000 na yun, it's small. Sa totoo compared to the whole picture. So, but nandun yung faith. Faith, I think that's something na dapat ma-inculcate. Nawawala na baby. Hey.
Okay, so next slide, please.
Yes.
So, from the moment you have decided to create this group, can you share at least some example of community building activities you have done before when you were still growing your community?
Wait lang po ha.
Okay lang. Sige, ako na lang magtotalk kasi I'm very touched, I'm very inspired na Facebook was used, at least Facebook was used as as informative as it should be. And I was touched with her words a while ago. Nandiyan ba siya? Okay. She said that small actions times a lot of people will equate to big change. That's amazing. I'm speechless. Totoo lang.
Thank you. Pero I do not put credit sa sarili ko. It really is a group effort. The whole movement.
Of course.
Yeah, the whole movement is a collective effort. And yun naman ang kailangan natin especially during these times. And climate change, ganyan. So, wala kaming sa Buhay Zero Waste. It's just a Facebook group. It's just a platform. We are not really an organization that creates that conducts events. Siguro eventually later on, kasi volunteers lang din kami. We just want to be like bridge for everyone who is into this advocacy. ang ang mas ang mga activities na nangyayari talaga ay dun sa yung mga members. May
Yes.
kanya-kanya silang pa-activity, may mga nagko-compose, may mga ina-advocate silang mga ganon. Tapos, yun naman yung nakakatuwa. Like, nagkaroon ka rin kami ng mga local chapters. That it wasn't my initiative, but it's something that I encourage. But people come to me and ask if they can do a chapter to their yung mas close sa kanila kasi actually mas effective nga naman yun na to their local like parang nagsusupport local lang din. Mas makakagawa ng action pag dun within that area, within your area. Like kapag nangyari yun, pwede din may pag-usap ka dun sa local na barangay or something para mas maging pa yung waste management, yung mga ganong bagay. Yes.
100% true.
Yes. So, yun naman yung nakakatuwa na everybody is into this advocacy naman. Yes.
Okay. Next slide.
Take initiative sila. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So since you've mentioned earlier, COVID-19, of course, pandemic, we all abide by the rules. Of course, we do not interact mostly at this time. Pero you've said na people interact online since then. Oh. So, how about your interaction online? Has there been changes with your activities?
Or like, madami din naman nadadagdag din pa rin. Ang daming sentiments na nare-receive ko sa mga tao during this pandemic is syempre yung frustration about disposables ngayon. And I myself na-frustrate din ako sa current situation, but it's something na encourage na lang namin sa isa't isa na ganun talaga. Pag anything that life that throws to you adjust. So another habit po. Ano yun regular, it's an everyday thing na magpo-form ka ng habits. So like, dati, like, magko-confession ako. Ngayon, nagpapa-deliver na ako ngayon. Nagpapa-deliver na ako ngayon. Pero there's zero ways or less ways that you can do to be more intentional. Kahit may mga ganun kang compromise na kailangan gawin. Like, syempre, yun lang naman encouragement sa mga business establishment na pwede bang pa-eco bag na lang to, ganyan.
Tama.
Yes.
Eco bag.
And syempre ngayon, ang dami nagbi-business. So, pasok dyan ay ang pinakamadami nagtatanong ay tungkol sa eco-friendly ng mga packaging. Ganyan.
Miss Gia, can I ask, sa location mo, sa place nyo ngayon, do you regularly use, like law, it is a law na you should regularly use eco bags? Is it a law na in your place?
Yes. Meron naman na. Like sa mga supermarket, dapat may naka-karton, kaya may bayad na yung mga eco bag.
Yes, tama. Next slide, next question.
Okay, next question po.
Okay, so we all agree this pandemic is really hard. Okay, they really set it straight that the year 2020, so we put this question to ask how your group is doing right now. That the pandemic has shifted our focuses towards near survival. But astonishingly, I am amazed to see your members to still post What kept them busy this past few months? I've seen, kasi di ba ang trend these days, foods, di ba? Food. And some of your Facebook members, those members na nandun sa Buhay Zero Waste Facebook group, are sharing sustainable packages or storages. Like recently, ito 1 minute, fresh post. Ha? Fresh post. Someone just shared, someone just posted uh, use of Tupperwares. Okay? Use of Tupperwares. Um, are there significant hurdles being faced by the community building activities that Buhay Zero Waste Group is doing, considering that we are under community quarantine? Marami ba kayong nahirapan ba kayo?
Like, kunyari, meron kasi kami isa pang mga may subgroup kami, like, may Buhay Zero Waste tindahan kami, para doon yung para marketplace namin, tapos meron kami Buhay Zero Waste Free Love. Free Love ay pwede you it's like an online dumpster dive. So, kung merong nag-give up na Free Love stuff, baka yung iba interesado sila.
Parang garage sale.
Yeah, oo, parang.
Okay.
Pero hindi siya for sale. Hindi siya for sale.
Yeah. Okay.
It's free. It's free. Free love.
Free.
Yes. The donation yung dating.
So, okay.
Nung nag-lockdown, kailangan namin syempre i-stop muna kasi to stop people from seeing each other.
Mm-hmm.
So, yun yung isa na naging hurdle din dun sa group.
Yes.
And I'm sure, ako din, like, meron akong usually na pinagbibigyan ng aking mga donation stuff. Pero sarado din sila kasi gawa na nga nung lockdown. Pero maganda naman, di ba, nauuso nga yung mga plantito.
Yes!
So, encourage yung mga tao. People are getting in touch with nature actually. Diba?
That's really trendy, plantitos and plantitas. Ang cute. Diyan ata nagsimula yung cactus, mga cactus.
Our school din.
Oh! Diba? I've heard there's an artist, I don't know, should I name her, pero her business is being a plantita. So she sells plants. I've watched it recently. So I think it's time. Okay, next slide, please. I think it's time for you to tell our viewers what strategies and advice can you give to those people who are just starting or are planning to develop their own communities in the sustainability area that they are passionate about.
Okay. Syempre, my advice is to think of something that you think is doable. Like for me, madali lang naman mag-click para mag-build ng mag-open ng Facebook group. So that's where I started for building the community. Mm-hmm. Ayan. Tapos, and syempre, start conversing with some friends. So start conversing with people who believes in your advocacy. And then just start from there. And start from yourself then, but make sure that you're practicing that same advocacy then. Kasi if it's something that you really like, and you have so much passion towards it, it's possible. And you just place that faith that it will happen. Yes.
That's my favorite word for tonight, passion. Okay? You just need to sacrifice, di ba? Sacrifice time, effort. Yan.
Nagawa ko yun na meron akong babies. Tama, baby.
Wow!
So, possible siya kasi for me, and my driving force to build this community is for my children. I want them to dapat may makita pa sila, and gusto ko mamana din nila yung aking ina-advocate because wala naman ng ibang planeta, may Mars, pero for us to live in. So yun.
Saya. Okay.
May questions pa ba? Yun na naman pabaon ko. And
Ang dami natin
syempre,
natutunan.
we're not really perfect models, but being
Yes.
intentional comes a long way. And yun nga, humility that na hindi mo naman kaya lahat talaga. You need people to make things happen. You need other people to make things happen.
Okay. Yes.
Okay na.
Next slide. Okay.
Ay, meron pa pala. Out-ox na. Okay, go.
Okay. So this time we picked some good questions in our comment below. Um, these are Facebook users who are really curious. There's a comment from Miss Maya Amador. She said that I really love Buhay Zero Waste and love ko din yung Buhay Zero Waste. Free love, okay? I can donate my old goodies na pwede pang gamitin ng ibang tao. I'm curious, how will they donate their materials pala?
You post it, may template kami dun sa Facebook group. And then, syempre, mine, parang bibili, parang selling. Pero
Okay.
it's more like giving away. So kung sino yung first na nag-mine, sa kanya ma-award. Depende kung magkasundo sila na okay lang mag-meet ng ganito, na ganyan. Ganun lang. Bigay lang talaga.
Okay.
Something that you don't need might be useful for someone else.
That's true. Okay, guys. You can, post your pre-loved goodies and post it on her group. Okay. Remember, she has a lot of members and everyone can see that. Okay. There's another comment. Okay, from G Lin. She said, "Love this episode. Love you too, Miss G Lin. It's like having a VC with barcadas, sharing experiences and learnings with each other while at home with a cutie baby. Cutie baby.
Thank you.
That's your baby girl.
Wala
Those are
kasi
your
ako
baby.
yaya.
Yeah, it's okay. Kaya natin yan. Okay. And there's also a comment from Ethan Nacionales. Pay it forward and something that starts within ourselves. Again, pay it forward and something that starts within ourselves. So he says that. Sir, Ethan, I think, go ahead, Miss Gia.
Sige lang. Ano?
He said na ano. Okay. So from that comment alone, we know that our audience are really having an exciting moment. They're really happy to see us both. Okay, so we would. I think it's almost time already. I know that there are still a lot of questions from our audience, punong-puno, that we were not able to ask, and we're very sorry about that. But don't worry, we will try our best to answer them in the comment section. Of course, our panelist is active on Facebook, and she would be glad to answer those queries we haven't touched on. Next slide, please. Okay, so before I give the floor to another speaker, I would like to give this moment for Miss Gia. Are there any other points that you want to discuss to our audiences? A takeaway, maybe?
So yun, nasabi ko na, basta, just, ang pinaka, gusto ko lang ma-emphasize lang din na you just keep the faith.
Yeah, keep a childlike
Kasi
faith.
actually nakaka-discourage talaga. Ang daming, like, inalaw na yung may mask, ganyan. Pero, sa pag may gusto, may paraan naman.
In the future,
yes.
hindi natin nakikita eh. We don't really visualize how the future is gonna be.
Yes, we
Magsusuot
don't.
pa ba tayo ng mask? 'Di ba? We have a lot to handle pa. Yeah, sabi nyo nga, Miss Gia, just be
Mm,
positive, of course.
keep the faith.
Uh, yeah, keep the faith. Keep a childlike faith and obedience.
Yes, yes.
And maybe you can also share how our audience can possibly connect with you and follow you on your respective advocacies. Maybe outside Facebook, do you have other social media platforms that you can share?
Related to zero waste or
Yes,
for
of
my
course.
actually wala na yun lang.
Okay.
Yun lang din
But
naman.
but to our audiences, if you really do want to connect and you're passionately do
Yeah.
want to start your own community, try connecting with Miss Gia.
Yes.
She
Join us at
uh,
Buhay Zero Waste.
yes, join them at. I might join
Mm.
later. Huh?
Oh,
That's
you'll be
interesting.
inspired with how people do their lifestyle.
Yeah, lalo na
Yes.
ngayon. It's so boring in our
Yes.
own homes. We need something
Mm-mm.
to, entertain us, inform us. Okay. Next
Yes,
slide,
and
please.
Filipinos
Yes.
are zero wasters. So you are already a zero waster kasi from mga ninuno pa natin, mga ancestors natin, we are originally zero wasters.
Okay.
Yes.
Next slide, please. Now, I would like to thank Ms. Gia, who has been very generous in sharing to us
Thank
her
you very
experience
much.
and expertise about developing a community of sustainable advocates. I've learned a lot, okay? And I'm
Yes,
sure
be
our audience,
proactive. Be
be
proactive.
proactive, yes. Our audience were able to pick up a lot of good points from
Mm-mm.
this discussion, which they can use to start out, just from a little, a sustainable community in their respective areas. Once again, thank you so much, Miss Gia, for spending your time for us tonight's webinar. We'll see you
Thank
again soon.
you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Okay, next slide, please. So with that, before we end, I would like to call on Miss Wilby Anyora from AtoAni BioPack to share to us about AtoAni BioPack's advocacy and how you can take part, and just like our guest panel tonight, how you can share your knowledge as well and be part of our next batch of panelists. This is really exciting, di ba, Miss Gia? This is very exciting, di ba, to be our guest panelist.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I,
Thank
I'll
you.
give the floor, Miss Wilby.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jonas. Thank you so much, Miss Gia, for actually accepting our invite, and Jonas for helping us moderate this particular webinar. So, hello everyone. I'm Wilby. So, my line of work is in strategy, digitalization, and innovation. But I do also volunteer in my free time. But I'm passionate about sustainability, and I usually express this through the ventures AtoAni BioPack and AtoAni. So in our previous webinars, we have shown several times already the statistics about plastic waste and the excess agro-industrial waste, such as sugarcane bagasse, and also other agro-industrial waste. So for those who are new to this webinar, these unrelated statistics are the problems that we are trying to address at AtoAni BioPack. So we make use of agro-industrial waste such as bagasse and corn husk to serve as a raw material for making sustainable packaging to help reduce reliance on plastics. So, with this in our own way, we can hope to spread awareness not only about sustainable packaging, but also about sustainable solutions, as what Ms. Gia has shared a while ago. And also, if with that, to anyone who wants to take part in this awareness advocacy and share their knowledge, we have a few webinars already lined up for September, but we are continuously looking for future panelists to learn from. So if you're interested to become a panelist in one of our episodes, please feel free to, send us a message on our Facebook page um, at AtoAni BioPack or Instagram at AtoAni_BioPack. Or you can also join our community of advocates through our Facebook group AtoAni X Sustainable Packaging Advocates, where we organize webinars such as this, community online events, and collaboration discussions. and we can also share firsthand speaker and moderator opportunities. So I think that's it. I'll back to you, Jonas.
Thank you so much, Miss Wilby. With this, as a call of action, we encourage everyone to learn and be an advocate for sustainability to the people around us by not only attending this webinar or the other webinars, but also sharing them to your family, friends, and colleagues who might be interested so that collectively we can take action. Watch out for more AtoAni Learn series episodes by liking AtoAni BioPack's Facebook page, AtoAni BioPack for zero waste and sustainability topics, and AtoAni's Facebook page at AtoAni PH for agriculture topics. For AtoAni BioPack, we will have two more webinars for August and another two in September, which is on top of what we will have for hashtag AtoAni feature series. So see you all on Saturdays of August and September. And don't miss our next webinar on September 5, same time, 6 to 7 p.m., where we will be joined by our panelists, Ms. Rage Gonzalez. She's a founder and CEO of Bridge 360, a web app development company in Makati City, and Sir Jonas Dumdum, a climate reality leader, renewable energy, environmental, sustainability advocate. So next week, I'll be moderating again our next webinar, hashtag AtoAni Learn Series Episode 7, Enabling Circular Economy in Developing Countries During COVID-19. So if this topic is something of interest to you, do join us again next Saturday. Next slide. So with that, I would like to officially close this webinar. I hope you have learned something from the discussion. Thank you all for tuning in. See you next Saturday, same time, 6 to 7 p.m. And have a good night, everyone.
It's okay.